Welcome to my channel. I am Rita. If today is your first time of stopping by on my channel, you're welcome. If you're yet to subscribe, kindly subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Today's video is all about how to secure family accommodation in the UK. The truth is, if you're coming in at the moment, you're going to struggle. You're going to find it hard to get a house. It's not like there are no houses, but right now so many people are struggling. People are staying in the hotel because they cannot secure a home. Guys, it's really difficult at the moment. Why? Because we have so many people coming to the UK because of the post-studies. Unlike before, people come to the UK, studies after their masters, they go back to their home country. But right now, when you finish studying, you go to post-studies visa for 2 years. So many people are coming in, and because of the war in Ukraine, UK had to pay people to open their homes to immigrants. So right now we have more number of people in the UK than the number of houses we have. So that's just it, guys. But it's not like you won't get a home. You will get one, but it's gonna take time. It's gonna take viewing upon viewings before you finally secure a place. So this is what this video is all about, just to help you make it easy. So when you're processing your admission, jobs, whatever your whatever means you want to come into the UK with, it's always advisable to consider accommodation. Because what's the point of coming in if you end up not having where to stay and you have to pay tons of money to stay in a hotel if you don't have any family member you could stay with for some time? So it's really advisable for you to start looking for a place immediately. Another thing is that I always advise that if you're coming with your family, you want to relocate with your family, it's always easy for you to come alone and then probably get a shared apartment while you continue to look for a proper home for your family before you asking your family to join you, because it's easy for you to get a shared apartment compared to getting a family apartment. So another thing it's also easy if you're coming to the UK to get a home. Is always easy because probably you have friends. If you're a student, you have friends at school, you ask them, you get to meet so many Nigerians, ask questions, ask people how to go about it. So it's usually easy. Or sometimes you could just walk past a house and you will see to let on it, you could call. So it's always very easy getting a home in the UK than getting it back in your home country. Or probably you have someone, you could ask them to help you check for houses and all that. So the next step when you're in the UK, if you're in the UK, the next step you will probably do is for you to decide, do you want to go for, there are so many types of accommodation. There are shared apartment, but shared apartment is usually for students because you get to share. It's like a 4-bedroom, you get to share toilet, you get to share kitchen. The only thing you have is just probably a room. So it's not always advisable for family to get shared apartment. Most of the landlord won't even give you a shared apartment for family. So another thing you need to consider if you're bringing in your family is for you to start looking for family accommodation, which is usually from 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, depending on the number of your family. If you're a family of 2, it's always advisable to get a 2-bedroom. If you're a family of 5, 4, it's always advisable for you to get 3-bedroom. So the next step you will do is for you to start searching for a house. Or probably you have to decide, do you want to get this house from a private landlord or do you want to get it from a letting agent? For me, I always prefer people to get their home from a private landlord because it's easy for you to deal with it. You're dealing with landlord directly. So if you have any issues in the house, it's always quick to get response. You could just call him and he comes in and then fix the issue for you. But if you're dealing with letting agents, it's always, they have to go through them before they get to the landlord. So it's always a long process. So I advise that you probably get a home from a private landlord. So another thing you will decide is, do you want it as a furnished apartment or unfurnished apartment? A furnished apartment is that it's going to have chairs, it's going to have microwave, it's going to have oven. It's just that the home is already furnished. But probably you come in and you don't see what you like, you can always buy things to join with whatever you have. But your unfurnished apartment is that it's always unfurnished, so you get to buy everything you want whatever you need, you get to furnish it and then make it your own, to your own taste, and make it your own home. So these are the decisions you have to take. Another thing is that you have to consider is location. If you're a student, if your wife is going to work, how close is it to the train station, how close is it to transportation, you know, all these things. And another thing you have to consider is it going to be bill inclusive, or you have to pay the bills by yourself? For me, I usually prefer, you know, the one I get to pay bills by myself, because it's going to, I'm the one living in the house, so I will know how to manage my electricity, I will know how to manage my gas and all that. So it's for you to decide all this, you know. Another thing is that you now start probably looking for a house. There's tons of websites that could help you kickstart, you know, your search. You have Open Rent, you have Rightmove, you have Zoopla, you have On the Market, you have Purple Bricks. These are websites that could help you, or probably Facebook Market. But if you're letting from Facebook Market, you have to be very careful, because there are so many scammers, you know, posting as landlord on Facebook Market. So please be careful, and don't pay for any house that you have not paid for, any house that you've not viewed, any house that you've not, you know, signed agreement. Don't pay for it, no matter how desperate you are. Please don't pay, because at the end of the day you just end up wasting your money. So when you've seen a house you like from the website, what you need to do is you have to call them, and then they will probably book for viewing. So when you're going for viewing, guys, you have to be extremely careful. If you see anything in the house, any marks, any scratches, you have to bring it to their attention, because the truth is, if you don't raise all these issues, you end up paying for them. So when you're viewing a house, ask questions. Any question you want, no matter how silly it might seem, just ask questions. So when you're after viewing, what they will do, the next step will be probably to give you application form. The application form, you will pay money for them to process your, you know, your renting process. So you get to pay, it's usually from £100 there upward. This money is just for them to know that, or to be sure that you really want this place, because they don't want to give you, you know, start with you, at the end of the day you change your mind about the property, or probably you've seen somewhere, you know, better than this place, and you want to change your mind. So if you change your mind about this house, the money is always non-refundable. But if you continue with this application and is successful, this money is always included in your first month. So another thing is, after this application, the next thing they will ask from you is documents. These documents they may likely ask from you is your passport, your BLP, your proof of identity. They will ask you a proof of address, probably where you've lived before. So you will need all these details. Another thing they will ask from you is proof of income. This is why many people don't get houses, because probably many students don't get to have family accommodation because of this. Because probably you're coming into the UK, you've not started working, you're working 20 hours, and when once you say I'm a student, is a turn off, because they feel like you are not going to be able to pay for this, you know, house. You don't have money. So that's why now most landlords are requesting for 6 months rent, which is not always so. They just want to scare you away. They just want to, you know, make sure that you will be able to pay for their houses. Another thing they will probably ask from you is guarantor. You are not, these are other issues too, because they'll ask for you to, you know, bring in a guarantor, just someone, and more is always people that own houses in the UK. So if you're coming to the UK newly, you might not have someone who will sign for you as a guarantor. You may not have someone who knows you. You know, nobody wants to just sign for you without, they don't know you, anything about you. So you probably need a guarantor to stand in for you. So this is why many students don't get to have house. So these are the issues. After, if you meet all these checks, the next step is that they will probably call you and then ask for deposit. So when you're paying for deposit in the house, they will ask you to pay for bond. Bond is usually like the first month rent. Is always the same thing. So this money is just for them to keep it in case you spoil anything in the house when you move in case you spoil anything in the house when you're leaving. They will come and check it. If you spoil anything in the house, they usually take money from your bond to fix up the, you know, whatever you spoil in the house, and whatever remains, they return it back to you. But if you did not spoil anything in the house, this money will be refunded to you in full. So another thing and another step you take is to pay for, you know, your 1 month rent pending when you will move in. So if you pay for, let's say you pay for today and you don't move in today, your money start counting for you. So pending when you move in, and then you have to check if you're going to be paying this money, because most house in the UK you pay the rent monthly. So you have to check and ask question, how am I going to be paying my rent? Is it monthly, is it weekly? But I usually advise that you go for the monthly one. So when all these things, you've passed all these checks and all this, the next thing they will do is to call you to sign agreement. Please, before you sign agreement, be very, very careful. Read through everything. Don't be desperate. Whatever you don't understand, ask questions, because once you pen your signature on it, that's it, the deal is finalized, guys. So you have to ask questions, read through it. How is and another thing you have to find out is this house, how many months am I going to live here? Because most of the houses is always 6 months agreement, because under 6 months, what if you find another place, better than the one that you are currently in? It also helps you, if you've seen somewhere better, you could always, after 6 months, you move out to another place. But if you sign like 1 year agreement, you have to stay for that place until after 1 year, or probably you see someone that will probably want to take the house from you. So read through this agreement. So after all these things, the next thing, if you've succeeded in all this process, the next thing, they will hand over the keys to you, so you can now finally move in. You've gotten a house in the UK. So that's just it. So when you're moving in, it's a good feeling. So you now move in. And if you have any issues with maintenance, maybe things spoil in the house, who you will call is, if you got the house from the landlord, you call the landlord to fix. They are entitled to fix everything in your house. If you have plumbing issues, you call the landlord. If you have anything in the issues, you call the landlord. If you got the house from the letting agent, they are the one you will call. Then they will contact the landlord, and then they'll get it sorted. So that's it, guys. So if you like this video, kindly subscribe and turn on the notification. I will see you in my next video. Bye.